Hi guys, welcome to this video discussion. We'll focus on today's set of questions. We begin. Before we begin, I would like to thank you for the positive feedback on the sessions we have had. More importantly, some of you have written back that you would want us to discuss a few more things. One of you wanted, recoup, a revision of important payments. Terminology like IMPS, RTGS, and all. We will do that later in this week, sometime most likely on Saturday. We'll look at all these payments terms, and in the weeks to come, we'll next 10 days. I'm going to discuss, as some of you mentioned, you want me to discuss the world wars in pretty easy language. I'll try and do that as well, and whenever you would want, as I said in the previous sessions as well, as I've said, if you want us to discuss something, please share that with us. We'll try and bring that to you. We'll try and my job is to bring in, learn. If I don't know, I learn and share that with you. So whatever possible, I'll bring it to you. Bring it to you. Here's today's set of questions. Let's begin our discussion. Who has recently been appointed the chief economist and the vice president of the World Bank? This is, my friends, Carmen Reinhart. Carmen Reinhart. She, before her, the person had resigned, and she was a professor. This lady was a professor in the past, and I read one of her papers, which was quite controversial. How development and debt don't go hand in hand, kind of paper. That was written in collaboration with another famous economist, Kenneth Rogoff, who at one point had become the youngest chief economist of the IMF. Later that title was taken by Raghuram Rajan. But I would like you to write the names of the books these guys have penned. So let's look at who are these, and if there is something extraordinary about the position they hold, we'll discuss that, and we'll also write, if not position, we'll write the names of the books these guys have written. So let's write Geeta Gopinath. Geeta Gopinath. We'll come in order 1 to 5. So Geeta Gopinath is the chief economist of the International Monetary Fund. Chief economist of the International Monetary Fund. International Monetary Fund. Chief economist of the IMF. Okay. From there, Thomas Piketty. He's pretty famous economist, and he's pretty well known for his work on income disparities over the last few centuries. And his most famous work is this book. Write this title: Capital in the 21st Century. Capital in the 21st Century. Capital in the 21st Century. It's a very famous book. I've read it, and trust me, it's one of those books that would tell you that, over the years, that income disparities have only grown. A lot of data is there, a lot of data that actually points to this. Okay, see, the number of people who have become richer, who have access to resources, is much smaller than the number of people who don't have such access. So, and you know that the population of the people, if the base is large, a base of those people who don't have access to resources is already large, it will only grow further. It will only grow further. If you look at the richest 1% in America own about 55% of the wealth. Of course, estimates vary, but think about it. Just a conservative estimate of 55%. The richest 1%, the top 1% own about 55% of wealth in America. In India, it is about 48%. So India's richest 1% own 48% of India's wealth. So you can understand that this is huge. There's large, income disparities, wealth disparities, and this is only deepening. This divide is only deepening. So things. This also leads to a lot of what we say social and economic tensions. Yeah. So So Thomas Piketty's book Capital in the 21st Century to Joseph Stiglitz. Joseph Stiglitz is an economist and Nobel laureate. He won the Nobel Prize for Economics in 2001. 2001. Nobel Prize for Economics in 2001. And is a, I wouldn't say a critic of globalization, but he's a critic of the way globalization has been done. Now, those of you who are not very comfortable with what is globalization, I'll tell you what. See, globalization is the breaking down of barriers that stop promotion of trade, free flow of goods and services, free flow of people, free flow of technology, free flow of money. So, what are the major things that stop, let's say, free flow of goods and goods? Two things. One would be high import tariffs. When goods are imported, let's say into India, we impose a lot of tax on it. Yeah. So the price of those goods go up, and those goods become, not so competitive compared to other goods. Let's say domestic goods. So that stops us. That stops the free flow there. So one is high import tariffs. Second is certain laws, like the ban on imports. Like India has now put a restriction on certain kinds of imports, defense imports. We are saying that we should make them, at home rather than get them from outside. So this is how barriers come up. But sometimes these barriers are important to protect domestic industry, and second, more importantly, to build indigenous capability, our own capability, our own national capability. See, for example, if you look at the PPE, personal protection equipment, which doctors, medical workers wear to protect themselves, during treatment of coronavirus, you understand that till the beginning of March, India was importing such stuff. We had no national capability, indigenous, local capability to make them. But when we were importing them, so what was the alternative for us? To import them from China, especially from China. So as we were importing, those companies began to play truant. They began to play, began to act smart. Like one, they would say that, look, we have global demand for it, so you'll have to pay double, triple the price, the usual price. And second, there were supply issues. And third, quality issues. So one was price issue, second was supply issue, third was quality issue. So we the government of India got fed up and incentivized local producers. Why don't you produce them within the country? And today, within the matter of 2 months, my friends, we are the second biggest, exporter of PPEs. So it is a matter of pride, no doubt. See, when people criticize that the growing dependence, growing stress on national capabilities, or let's say stopping imports and focus more on import substitution, it's a very good idea. It is very good idea. Look at all those companies which are involved in PPEs, and look at all the people who work in those units basically. Yeah. And look at all the foreign exchange we have saved from, rather than import. We are now, we are not importing, instead we are exporting. So foreign exchange is coming in. So net we are gaining in foreign exchange, employment generation, in building local capability. So things things are working. They will only get better. So people like Joseph Stiglitz have been great critics of this, and I have followed his works for the last about 20 years now. Yeah, more than that. Like, he wrote this very good book, Globalization and Its Discontents. You could write this: Globalization, Globalization. Globalization, you could write with an S, globalization mein, or with a Z. I prefer Z. Globalization and its discontents. 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 Globalization and its discontents. So if you get time, please read this book. This is seriously, world class. So um, Stiglitz, and then Carmen Renat. You could write 1 hour books. You could write. She wrote this in collaboration with another guy. I told you, I mentioned this guy's name a while ago, Kenneth Rogoff. So you could write Carmen Renat and choice D, choice 4, and what's his name? Kenneth Rogoff. Kenneth, Kenneth, Kenneth Rogoff, Rogoff, Kenneth Rogoff dash, Kenneth Rogoff dash. Um, this time is different. This THIS, this time, TIME, time is different dash 8 centuries, 8 centuries of financial folly, financial, FINANCIAL, financial folly, 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 financial folly. Folly means mistake. So every time we do something, we believe that no, this time it's different. This time it is different. We're not going to make those mistakes. But every time, it's the same result. It's a same result. So, of course, we have this choice 5, Raghuram Rajan there. Raghuram Rajan is former chief economist of the IMF, former governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Before that, he was also the National Economic Advisor to the Government of India. And he is considered one of the greatest economists in the world. This guy has written plenty of books, and one of his most famous books is, write this, Fault Lines. Fault Lines, FAULTLINES, FAULTLINES, Fault Lines dash how hidden, HIDDEN, hidden fractures, 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 hidden fractures still, STILL, still threaten, THREATEN, threaten the world economy, so fault lines, how hidden fractures still threaten the world economy. Fracture माने हाथ का fracture नहीं, okay? Fracture means, see what happens. Fracture is basically there's a crack in the bone, isn't it? Similarly, there's a crack in the earth. Earth means, deep inside there are plates. So these can derail. These can lead to earthquakes. मैं आपको बताता इस question के बाद. Okay, so the idea is that he came up, see, in 2005 he talked of what might happen if the abuses in the bad practices in the financial companies, investment companies in America, elsewhere, weren't controlled. So anyway, everybody laughed, and everybody dismissed him. But 2008 the financial crisis happened, and that destroyed the world economies, that destroyed large number of economies. Greece, you have had the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Greek, the Irish, the American, economies. They all went bad, very bad. So ये सब कैसे हुआ था, अगर आपको जानना है तो मैंने पहले भी ये फिल्म रिकमेंड की हुई है आपको. Please watch this movie, The Big Short. The Big, B-I-G, Big Short, SHORT. It's a very, very good film. You'll thoroughly enjoy it. So, see, those of you who are not greatly familiar with the English language, मैं आपको एक बात बताता हूँ. See, Hindi is not my mother tongue, but we learn, and it's okay to make mistakes. See, if you are a Hindi person and you're learning to speak Tamil, will you make mistakes? You will make mistakes. But you will learn. You will make 10 mistakes. You will learn 10 words. You will learn 15 words. You will learn 50 words. So if you are persistent, एक दृढ़ता होनी चाहिए. Yeah, determination should be there, and the willingness to learn from mistakes should also be there. It's okay not to speak in English. It's not your mother tongue. I mean, it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay to make mistakes. Hmm? So I believe that everyone here can learn English. Read comics, Amar Chitrakatha, Tinkle, Chandamama, Gokulam, Champak. Read all the, read the English versions. Supandi, you read, when you read Tinkle, you read Supandi. Hmm? So, I mean, there is a way to learn. There is a way to learn. It's our job to learn. Our job is to learn, nothing else. Okay? Learn, use that learning. So, this movie is very good, yeah. The Big Short, SHORT. It's on the basis of a book called the same title, The Big Short, by Michael Lewis, Lewis, Michael Lewis. So, people said, no, we have had crisis in 1997, 2000, 2001, but this time it's going to be different. So 2008, people said, no financial crisis would happen. It happened. Again, now there is a crisis, but nobody is willing to admit to that crisis. Yeah, that is how this, Reinhardt's book says, this time is different. It's rarely different. It's the same mistakes we make. Yeah. The problem with people like us is that the input is the same, but we expect the output to be different. Yeah. Mistakes, input. Okay. Wrong approach, input is the wrong approach, but the output is, again, it will be something wrong. But unfortunately, we rarely learn. So we shouldn't join the large club of failures. We should work hard, we should learn. Okay, guys? All people overcome difficulties, so you could be one of them. See, Raghuram Rajan studied BTech at IIT Delhi. He did his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, and at both the places he was a gold medalist. He was a topper. And then he went to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, to do his PhD. He did a PhD there. Then he moved between, I think he was there at Princeton and Harvard, and then he became a professor at Chicago University. He is today one of the world's, ranked among the top 5 economists of the world. When he talks, people listen. People listen, my friends. Of course, he has his own political inclinations, so we have to be very careful about reading all these guys. They have their own agendas. A country which neither exports nor imports is called a closed economy. Closed economy. So in this week, to a large extent, at least every week we'll have one session where we will try and revise a few important ideas. Okay, guys? The last so many weeks we have done so many sessions. So we'll pick a few of those questions and we'll, especially, terminology related, like one of you had asked about IMPS, RTGS. We'll discuss this, but this had come much earlier than that. So I picked this question based on what some feedback had come. So I would want you to write a few things about these economies, and then we will discuss the Indian economy, because the next 2 questions relate to the Indian economy, how things had changed since 47, and then we will discuss the normal stuff. Okay, so you could write this. First one, you could write this. A country in which neither exports nor imports is called closed economy. Simple one-line definition. ठीक, उसके नीचे लिखिए. Choice 4 क्या है? Capitalist economy. Please write that. Capitalist economy. Capitalist economy. Okay. Underline that first point. Also called free market economy. Look at choice 5. Free market economy and laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. I'll spell it. LAISSEZ. LAISSEZ. Laissez-faire. FAIRE. Laissez-faire. LAISSEZ hyphen FAIRE. Laissez-faire. In brackets, French for, it's French Basha, for French for leave alone. leave alone. Let it be is a meaning, but it's okay. Leave alone. Close it. Second point. पहले लिखते हैं फिर डिस्कस करते हैं. Second point. All economic activity. I'll write the order. All economic activity is driven by profit motive. Other names, profit motive. I repeat, all economic activities are driven by profit motive. Third point. Write this. All factors of production in brackets, land, labor, capital, 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 and organizer, land, labor, capital, and organizer okay, are owned by private individuals, individuals, private individuals. Last point. Next point. Citizens are allowed, or people are allowed to own property. Own, own property, and accumulate wealth. Accumulate, accumulate, accumulate wealth, wealth, wealth. Next, typically found in a democracy, 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 democracy. Okay. Example: Australia, New Zealand, Australia. Okay, leave one line space. We'll discuss this, but let's write choice 2 now. Leave one line space, right? Socialist economy. Socialist economy. Socialist economy. First point, the order I was writing. Yeah, first point. Also called planned, PLANNED, planned or central command economy. Planned or central, CENTRAL, central command economy. Next, all economic activity is done. All economic activity is done for service, to render service, RENDER, सर्विस देने के लिए. सिर्फ सर्विस मोटिव होता है, प्रॉफिट नहीं होता इसमें. रेंडर सर्विस. Next, all factors of production, all factors of production are, all factors of production are owned by, OWNED, owned by, are owned by the state, the state, STAT, state slash government, government. Next, people are not allowed, people are not allowed to own property, to own property. People are not allowed to own property. Next, you don't have to write accumulate wealth because they are not allowed to even basically basic property. Last one, typically found in, typically found in communist countries, communist, in a communist country, in a communist country, singular, in a communist country. Last one, example, example, North Korea, North Korea, example, North Korea. Leave one line space, right? One last one, that mixed economy, choice one, mixed economy. Underline that. Comprises public sector, comma, private sector, public sector, comma, private sector, and sometimes or other, and joint sector, and joint sector. Comprises public sector, private sector, and joint sector. And joint sector. Full stop. Example, India. India. Okay. See, in a country like ours, we have all the public sector, which is government owned, and the private sector, which is privately owned by the people like us, private individuals. We are called private individuals. People like us own those companies. Okay, that economic activity. Now let me take you to the first one, capitalist economy. Just a second, the eyes are burning. So, what is capitalist economy? See, the one who provides the capital is the owner of the business. In simple words, the government does not tell us what to produce, how much to produce, at what price we should sell. No, the government does not interfere in business. The government only makes the legal framework, the law, and we have to stick to the law. We should not get on with any economic activity, that violates a law. You want to manufacture the pen, manufacture a pen. You want to manufacture a weapon, if it's allowed by the government. Okay? If the government says, no, Bharat, you cannot manufacture a weapon, gun, pistol, I cannot. It's illegal to manufacture a gun, the government says, then I have to stick to not making that gun. Okay? I have to stick to the law. So the government doesn't tell me what not to produce, what to produce. It tells you that, look, this is the law, stick to the law. That's it, nothing else. Okay? Now all the land is owned by private individuals. All labor, you and I will work for someone. Okay? Some private individual, some factory somewhere. Like, I work for time. And if you look at the organizer, time is the organizer. The capital was provided by the people who founded time. You got the idea? So private individuals own all economic activity, and always remember that every economic activity in a capitalist enterprise is guided with the profit motive. you would manufacture this pen only if it makes money for you. Yes or no? अगर इससे इसको इसके उत्पादन से आपको लाभ मिलता है तभी इसका उत्पादन करेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं करेंगे आप. So you should be very very careful about these things. Okay, you should not get carried away by look someone is making a profit. No, people have to make a profit. Only then economic activity is good. Okay, without profit, people will not be incentivized. There won't be any reason for them to get on with the business. Okay, so see, if you look at Reliance Industries, Reliance exports, India's exports are, let's say, $300 billion. 10% of that comes from Reliance. It employs lakhs of people, thousands of people. So look at all the people, look at all the families, look at all the people who directly, indirectly depend on Reliance. So you need to understand that it is not bad to make money. It is very good to make money, but it has to be legal. That's what in a capitalist economy things go like. In every law society, money should be earned through legal means. Okay. Now, of course, this is all about freedom, isn't it? You make paisa in your business. What do you do with the paisa? You buy property, you invest somewhere, gold and all. These are all assets. These are all wealth. So the government will allow you to accumulate wealth, to build wealth. Okay. So, and look, this is all about choices. This is all about choices. And democracy is about choices. That's why you always find a capitalist system in a democracy. In a democracy, you choose to make this pen. You want to make this mouse, you are free to make the mouse. The government doesn't tell you this. It's legal to make the mouse, the government says. So make the mouse. Got it? So this is how the capitalist system works, where there is no interference from the government. Okay? The individual decides everything. So it's very individualistic in its implementation, its practice. And remember that here there is definitely gap between the rich and the poor. So there are some people who build capital, who build businesses and all that, and the rest depend on those businesses, and that's how the world works normally. Okay. Now, what is a socialist economy? Social, samajik. Okay. So in a socialist economy, everything is owned by the government. Sarkar owns this. Sarkar will own a pen manufacturing plant. It will manufacture computer mouses. Is this good? Not at all good, my friends. Not at all good. So the government makes everything. Is the owner of all the land. You cannot own land. The government owns every factory. You cannot own factory. You can't start your own factory. The government organizes all capital, labor, everything. Like for example, you and I will work for the government. In a socialist economy, remember, government owns everything. So you and I will work for the government. हम दोनों सिर्फ सरकार के लिए काम कर सकते हैं. एक सरकारी प्लांट है, मशीनरी प्लांट एंड मशीनरी स्टील प्लांट, will work for सरकार for the in the steel plant. If there is a large farming area, we'll work for the sarkar because the sarkar owns the land. So we'll have to do farming work for the sarkar. Got it? This kind of system is there in North Korea. It used to be there in Cuba. It used to be there in China. Before 77, it used to be there in China as well. And before 91, this was a major system, economic system in the Soviet Union. But this is against human nature. Against human nature. If you look at socialism, it's always found in a communist society. So what is a communist society? What is communism? In communism, remember that all these guys who are, say, if I'm a communist, I would want only one political party. Okay? In a communist country, there is only one political party, the Communist Party. दूसरी कोई political party होती नहीं. Okay? Second, no elections are held. So this is unelected dictatorship. You understand this? You may wonder, what is elected dictatorship? Yes, there is elected dictatorship, but let's say if you look at Egypt, there is a guy called Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. He is a president. He comes through elections, but he does all kind of nuisance. So if you look at a communist country, you have only one political party, no elections, no freedoms are given to people. You and I cannot criticize the government. No, we are not allowed to say anything against the government. That's China. You cannot say anything against the government. Of course, there is one more thing here, that the government appoints people to judiciary. So the judiciary is controlled by the government. The press is controlled by the government. The military, all security forces, including the police, everything is controlled by the government. You understand that? Yes. Land is owned by the government. Everything is owned by the government. So socialism is an economic philosophy, commonsensical bhasha mein, is an economic idea. Communism is a political idea. So one political party, no elections, they run the show. So they would want to own everything. You understand that? Yeah. So what will happen? So socialism, they adopt socialism. That's it. In China, you would have found this. Even today, it's there in China. Even today, in large parts of China, this is the system that works. If you look at Russia, if you look at North Korea, yes. You go to a country called Eritrea in Africa, you would find this system. This is evil. This is evil. जब से आप भारत में नक्सलवादी हैं, they believe in they are communists, hardcore, extreme leftist communists. They believe in Maowadi thought. Okay, सोच. They believe in Maoism, which says that there should be a communist revolution. There shall be a communist revolution. The goal of the Naxals in India is to bring about a communist revolution through violence, throughout the government, throughout the democracy, burn the constitution, everything, replace that one with one party political system. That's communism, the Communist Party. Unki party, okay. All property will be nationalized. All property will be nationalized. So you want to become a, you believe in Naxalism and all that? Yes. Yeah, yes. Young people do. Young people believe in not Naxalism. Young people believe in socialism. Why is there so much disparity? Young people's heart bleed for the poor, which is not wrong. Yeah, but you have to understand that a lot of people simply are poor because they don't have access to resources. Well, that's one. Two, some people generally are poor because they want to be poor, because they don't want to work hard. There are choices people make. You are a driven person. You will work hard. You will get prosperity. It's a very simple way of looking at it. Okay? So these are kind of what are called economic systems. Capitalism, socialism, mixed economy. These are all economic systems. We in India have both public and private sector. So in some sectors of the economy, the government sector works very well. For example, if you look at insurance, LIC works very well. Yeah, you have Bharti AXA, you have ICICI Prudential Life Insurance. All these are there, but LIC stands its own ground. If you look at in some sectors, they haven't done well. If you look at aviation, if you look at what is it called, telecom, BSNL has not done well at all. Yeah, they have been quite late to the party, you could say that. But in any case, I just wanted you to be familiar with this kind of economic systems. So now you know. Which of the following is not true of India's trade policy prior to 1991? High tariffs, high taxes were there. Yes. Tight import restrictions were there. Yes. Quota restriction was there. Yes. Ban on import of consumer goods were there. Yes. Transparency in the issue of trade licenses was there. No. Hey, choice 5. It's, I think I didn't highlight it. Yeah. Choice 5 is the answer. 5. See, in 1947, when I will tell you this in a nutshell. Okay, ये बहुत लंबा नहीं लेगा. In 1947, when we became independent, the government realized that the private sector in India is very small, So we would need to step up and take the role of, the economic leader. So the government jumped into the economy. It had one major aim: establishing a socialist society, a classless society. A socialist society is a classless society. Can you have a classless society? Well, so I don't want to answer that question. You know the answer. So the idea is that private sector was very small. Government said, ठीक है, private sector won't go into the rural areas. They won't set up a banking unit. They won't set up a college. They won't set up a business there. So what we will do is we'll get into the position. We will do all that. We need to solve the problem of unemployment. We'll have to take care of people's economic needs and everything. So what we will do is we'll manufacture what is not available today. So the government of India got into set up a huge public sector through which they owned a lot of businesses. Like for example, telecom. See, while they owned businesses, they brought in something called monopoly. What is it? Monopoly. So the government said no private company in telecom sector, only government owned company. So government started Department of Telecommunications, DOT. It was extremely tough to get a phone. If you were lucky, you could say today you apply, आज apply किया. So the government said, okay, you want a phone, fair, we'll try and get it to you. So it could take anywhere between 2 and 7 years to get a phone at home, in a business. That is, from the date of application, it could take anywhere between 2 and 7 years for you to own a phone. Such was the government, business practices in those days. So the government was one where the government, in fact, the economic system was like the government owned everything. Majorly government. So if you look at 53, 56 period, all the private insurance companies were taken over and turned into LIC. They merged, LIC was created. So the government of India took over life insurance sector. Till 1998, no private insurance company was allowed in India. Do you know that? So you had a lot of other things, like for example, aviation. The government here took over private airline companies like Tata Airlines, everything, turned them into government owned companies. Until 91, 92, no private airline company was allowed in India. Yes, not allowed. Government of India didn't allow anyone in the, telecom sector. Only government was there. So these kinds of things created inefficiency. Monopoly is always bad. When monopoly is there, to a large extent, service becomes inefficient. Service becomes inefficient in the hands of the government. In the hands of the private sector, a monopoly would mean that they can control prices. So they would charge extraordinarily high. So in the case of the government, it is inefficiency. सरकारी है, हम सरकारी नौकर हैं, सरकार नौकरी है, ऐसे बैठेंगे, हम क्या करेंगे? सरकार won't fire me. So this was the overall economic scenario. In this, there were certain other things. Like for example, the government said, okay, Bharat, you want to import a car? No problem. Look at choice one, high tariff, you have to pay high taxes. So yesterday I was watching a film on TV. Okay, I was watching this film, Amitabh Bachchan starring, it had a Mercedes Benz. Those Mercedes Benz को देख के मुझे लगा कि यार, let's say just a movie, but the guy must be seriously rich. The character in the movie must be seriously rich, because if that Mercedes Benz, because it was imported, no car in India was manufactured, okay, except Ambassador that came much later, PAL, Premier Automobile Limited, which came much later, you had Suzuki, Maruti Suzuki कई जमाने के बाद आया था. तो ये सब आप a Mercedes Benz, if I wanted to import a Mercedes Benz in those days, 50s, 60s, the government said, okay Bharat, you please import, you are welcome, pay tax. How much? import duty will be anywhere between 145 to 300%. Think about it. Car cost, let's say, 1 lakh rupees in those days, 1 lakh rupees. Duty was 200%, so 2 lakh was a tax. Would I buy? It would depend, of course. So the government imposed extremely high tariffs because the government said, one, you're a rich guy, you can afford to pay. Two, the car is not a necessity. But, when you buy a car, we have to pay in foreign exchange. You pay to us in rupees, we have to pay in foreign exchange, dollars and all, pounds and all. So that would mean that precious foreign exchange goes out of the country. And we have very little foreign exchange. We need this foreign exchange to pay for oil, edible food, edible oils, crude oil. We need for food. In those days, we were a very food deficient country. Import needs were there, defense needs, defense imports were there. So many things were there. So to discourage all that stuff, the government did this. Apart from which, the government also said, okay, you could buy only this much gold. You cannot import more than this gold. So there were tight import restrictions. That is the reason why there was so much smuggling of gold in the past. Okay, like Indians have always loved gold, isn't it? Yeah. So, but the government said you could not import. You could not import because gold is not a necessity. Gold is a luxury. You may like it, but it's a luxury. Foreign exchange आ रहा है, नहीं कर सकते ऐसा. Yeah. So the government said we'll have tight import restrictions. We can't do this. We can't allow these things. This is the reason why in the 50s, 60s, 70s movies you find so much gold smuggling being shown in movies. Yeah, I think I told you this. They would have gold biscuits put in a crate, bought on a ship in the dead of the night. रात के अंधेरे में लेके आते थे ships में. Then someone would flash the torch. Someone would be standing from the boat. He would flash the torch, and someone from the coast would flash again. Yeah, it was a signal, come, there's nothing, no danger, come here. And those guys would come and they would ask for code. Listen, code kya hai? This is my favorite. Code kya hai? Asman saaf hai. So those kinds of codes. So the codes matched, unloaded, gold unloaded and sold to the market. So this is what it led to actually. Smuggling, black marketing was common because of tight import restrictions. Then the government said, okay, we have a policy called trade license and quota restriction. It said, okay, Bharat, you want to manufacture a scooter? Koi baat nahi, bahut achhi baat hai. It's a very good thing. First, you need a license. So I went to a government office, trade office. Saab, this is my policy, this is my blueprint, project, everything. I want to manufacture scooters. So they would make me run. Even today, it's difficult to start a business in India. Think of the 50s and 60s, there was nothing, no accountability, no scrutiny, nothing. So the local official was a my pop, he was a sarkar. Okay. So he would make me run around, let's say 2 months, 3 months, everything. After some bribe or some whatever reason, some pressure and everything, the file would pass, I would get a license. So I would get a I would start manufacturing scooters. Then the government said, oh Bharat, you can't manufacture as many as you like. No. You can manufacture only up to 1,000 scooters. I'm just giving an example, 1,000 scooters. I would say, there is such a large demand for scooters in the market. No, 1,000 only. 1,000 scooters only. So what would I do? I would make only 1,000. What would it lead to? Scarcity. Yeah. To black marketing. Isn't it? Yeah. And in those days, apart from cycle, Goda Buggy, Goda Gadi, what was there in private transport? Nothing. Forget car. Not everybody could afford car. So if someone wanted a scooter, they had to book, and that would come anywhere between, and I'm not kidding, you could ask your elders, anywhere between 2 or 1 to 13 years, depending on where you were, how strong you were, financially. 13 साल लगते थे कभी scooter आने के लिए. You understand that? Yeah, there is an old joke that when a girl was born, a father would go to the nearest scooter store, dealership and book a scooter. So 10 years hence or something it would come. So it could be given in Dahej, dowry to the groom. So they're all stories, and they're real stories. I mean, they're true, not real, true. Okay, yeah. So restriction was there because the government believed in socialism, that said that, array, if this guy, if a scooter manufacturer would make more than 1,000 scooters, it would mean that he would make more money, so the gap would widen. This guy will become richer and people will remain poor. So gap will widen. No, we don't want that. We want to establish a socialist society where everyone would be more or less equal. Crazy stuff, isn't it? Yeah. So there was no transparency. I mean, it was whim and fancy of the local official, my friends. So things were very bad, my friends. Things were very, very bad. So some other time I will tell you more. And things had gone to such an extent that we did not have enough money to pay for our imports. We did not have enough money to pay for our loans. Yeah. So things came to a very bad situation. Very, very bad situation. So throughout 50s, 60s, 70s, throughout 50s actually, where you depended on America and European countries for food, khana, chawal, rice, chawal khaskar, khaskar wheat, gehu, we used to import from America, and they would send under their scheme called PL 480, pretty poor quality of wheat. And I'm not kidding. Yeah, but it was all grant. So we were okay with it. So in the 60s, we started Green Revolution. It was the vision of Lal Bahadur Shastri, and he started this. And trust me, he changed India's fortunes. India's fortunes. Some people, though they were around for a very short period, they did a remarkable job. Yeah, and he did fantastically well. So anyway, things came to a very bad pass means situation, and we didn't have enough money. So इधर उधर गए हम, we borrowed money. ऐसा तो है नहीं. See, we would borrow, spend. So finally we took some gold. The government of India went to, first it was Vishwanath Pratap Singh, then it was, what is his name? Chandrasekhar. I'm talking of 1991. Two prime ministers were there. So they took some gold, went to the first, the Swiss National Bank. They pawned gold, गिरवी रखा, पैसा है, खर्च कर दिया, over. After some time, Bank of England, Central Bank of Britain, we went there, put money, put gold, took money, spent it, khatam. Because we were addressing only symptoms, but not the problem. We had the problem persisting. So finally we went to the IMF, International Monetary Fund, which said by Government of India, we'll give you paisa, no harm, we'll give you paisa. But you need to change a few things in the way you do your economic activity. The way you conduct your economic policy needs to be changed, needs to be changing. So the Government of India said, okay, what is it? The IMF said, we would want you to go for certain ideas like LPG, liberalization. L for liberalization. Liberalization means making it free. Liberal, to make it free. Liberate, to make it free. Liberalization, privatization, and globalization. We said, okay, we'll do it slow, but not in a rush. So we started this policy in 1991. It began to be called the New Economic Policy. The answer is one. The answer is one. New Economic Policy. So we, we started this policy, and the central idea of this policy was LPG, liberalization. Liberate certain sectors from government monopoly, government control. Telecom, let private investment come in, let private parties come in. It could be domestic private, it could be foreign. Okay, so the Government of India allowed both actually. Then insurance came much later. Aviation came. So what happened? The government monopoly broke. Private companies came in. Foreign companies came in. When foreign companies came in, they brought foreign exchange. You got this idea? Foreign exchange was used to pay for imports, loans, and everything else. They brought FDI. Stock markets were liberalized slowly. So foreign investors came, bought into Indian stock market, money came. Yeah, foreign portfolio investment, foreign institutional investment, all this came. Slowly things changed. They think slowly things changed. And if you look at privatization, the government of India began to give up its ownership of a lot of public sector companies. It sold Modern Foods, bread making company. It sold what is that company? Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited. Yeah, things have changed a lot. आज आपको फ़ोन खरीदना हो तो just walk into a store and buy it just like that. You ask your elders at home, they will tell you, "अरे phone, getting that phone, dialer phone was a major thing." And there used to be one phone in the neighborhood, and we used to give that number to, let's say, to some distant relative or some relative, or your mother's brother would call on that number and say, and those guys would say, "Arey Sunita, bhaiya ka phone." This is how it is. You understand that? An old world thing. Yeah. That number was called PP, particular person number. Particular person number. पहले PCO कितने थे? Yeah, there used to be PCO, public call office. So to penetrate, to ensure that telecom services would reach the poorest of poor, 12 PCOs were set up, and the government, to cheapen telecommunication, talking between people, because it was very expensive. So what they did was they had STD slabs also. They had STD slabs. So things have changed a lot. Things have changed a lot. I'll tell you one. The cheapest STD slot was after 11 p.m. So there used to be a line, a queue at 11 p.m. Now outside the STD, because it was 1/4 of the actual fare. If you call someone between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m., it was let's say 10 rupees. If you called someone after 11 p.m., it was 2 rupees 50 paise at the same time. So things have changed, and they've got better. They've got better. Unemployment was very high in those days. That's why you watch the 70s movies. The main issue was unemployment. Yeah, hunger, because that was India, my friends, of those days. So 1991. Okay. Ek Parivar, Ek Bank is a tagline of Bank of Maharashtra. Bank of Maharashtra. So you could write the taglines for this. They normally don't give this, but just for fun, sometimes we have this, so that you keep an eye on these things also. State Bank of India, you could write, there are two I can give you. Banker to every Indian. Banker to every Indian. Banker to every Indian. Banker to every Indian. Second one is with you, all the way. With you, all the way. With you, all the way. Then you look at Indian Bank. Your own bank. Your own bank. Your own bank. Next, Canara Bank. Together we can. Together we can. Next, Indian Overseas Bank. Indian Overseas Bank. Good people to grow with. Good people to grow with. Good people to grow with. Up to what percent of the state's state gross domestic product has the Union government recently revised borrowing limits for the current fiscal 2020-21? The answer is 5%. Earlier it was 3%. 3%. Now they can borrow more. But there are some conditions. So I would want you to write this stuff. Okay? Please likhiye isko. Okay? Borrowing limit. Borrowing limit. Raised from 3% to 5%. 3% to 5%. Dash. This means that states can now borrow an additional 4,28,000 crore. 4,28,000 crore dash. However, continue there. Dash, however, this is linked to this borrowing. This borrowing is linked to certain specific, certain economic reforms. Underline that, right? One, universalization, universalization of one nation, one ration card, one nation, one ration card. See, as of today, 20 states have agreed to be part of this scheme, wherein, let's say I have a ration card, I can go to a store, as I'm from Bihar, I can buy stuff in Telangana from some ration shop. This is the scheme. Okay, it is good for people actually. Number two, ease of doing business. Next, power sector reforms, power distribution reforms. Next, increasing revenues of local bodies, like municipal corporations, like that. Okay, so the central government is saying that make business easy to start. Okay, this will lead to job creation, this would lead to increased revenues for you also. Yeah, but then state governments have their own ideas. They've said that borrowing is fine, but we don't want these kinds of reforms and everything. Okay, India has been ranked dash in the UN World Happiness Report 2020. 144th rank. Our rank is 144th. So कुछ लिखते हैं इसके बारे में, right? UN World Happiness Report 2020. UN World Happiness Report 2020. Okay. Underline that. Rank 1. Finland. Rank 1. Finland. 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 Rank 2. Denmark. 3. What is that country? Switzerland. Switzerland. 4. Norway. 4 is Iceland. ICE. Iceland. 5. Norway. 5. Norway. Okay. BRICS के रैंक्स लेते हैं. See, this is how do you measure happiness? The question was, how do you perceive yourself to be? Do you perceive yourself to be happy? That was the question. How do citizens perceive themselves to be? How happy they perceive themselves to be? That was the question. And it's very difficult to measure happiness. Though people might say there is a parameter and all that, there are parameters. See, 153 countries were ranked. Out of this, India got 144th rank. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, could write BRICS, BRICS. You know the countries, so just write BRICS, line में नीचे ऐसे, vertical. Brazil, 32, rank 32. Russia, 73. Russia, 73. India, 144. China, 94. 94. China, 94. S, South Africa, 109. 109. 109. Last. Three least happy countries. Three least happy countries. Three least happy countries. 153rd, Afghanistan. Afghanistan. 152nd, South Sudan. South Sudan. SUDAN. South Sudan. 151st, Zimbabwe. 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 ठीक है, चलिए. I think we took bottom 3, top 5, in between BRICS also. Irfan Khan passed away recently. Which of the following Hollywood films is not associated with him? Terrific guy, terrific actor, absolute terrific actor. So sad that he passed away. So, I mean, he was just 53. Life of Pi, Slumdog Millionaire, Jurassic World, The Amazing Spider-Man, and The Revenant. Of course, the answer is number 5. He didn't act in that. He acted in the first 4, and Life of Pi was a fabulous film. You should have watched. If you haven't watched, please watch. If you watched, I'm sure you would agree with me that it's one of the finest films you would watch. Life of Pi is about human beings, how they survive, what kind of belief systems they have, and how those belief systems help them get by in life. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to believe and not to believe, basically, both. This is a film, Life of Pi, film based on the book with the same title, Life of Pi, written by Jan Martel. You could write this, Life of Pi dash book written by Booker Prize winning book by Jan Martel, YANN, Jan Martel, 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 Martel. बहुत अच्छी किताब है. जितनी अच्छी किताब है उतनी अच्छी फिल्म भी है. Actually, surprisingly, very good film. And yeah, Slumdog Millionaire was also this film which made by Danny Boyle, and if I'm not wrong, it's based on the book Q&A, question and answer. It's based on a book called Q&A by Vikas Swarup. Jurassic World is pretty good, of course. He's shown as the owner of the park, actually. But his helicopter crashes and he dies that way in the movie. Choice 5, The Revenant, is a movie that starred Leonardo DiCaprio. अगर आपने को, if you can digest films that show raw meat eating and everything, it's a good film. एक 5 मिनट का पूरे फिल्म में एक 5 मिनट का सीन ऐसा होता है जिसमें रॉ मीट दिखाते हैं, but otherwise it's a true story. It's a story that got it's a film that got DiCaprio his first Oscar. He had been nominated multiple times before that, but he never ever won the Oscar for Best Actor. This time he did. Very, very, very good film. पूरी एकदम, this was shot in southern Argentina near the Antarctica. Yeah, बहुत उम्दा फिल्म है, देखिए आप. I think the second actor is Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy, yes. This is about the story of how one man is left for dead, and how he survives, how he takes revenge because one of those guys who left him there, had killed his son. बहुत अच्छी फिल्म है. And it's not like our typical Bollywood violence. No, no, no. Yeah. National Education Day is observed on. It's the birthday of Maulana Sahib. November 11th. November 11th. November 11th. Maulana Sahib was born on November 11th, 1888. If I'm not wrong, 1888. Yeah, and he died in December or sometime in 1958. Yeah. He was India's first education minister. He was born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and Maulana was his title. Azad was his pen name. This is Abul Kalam, and बहुत लंबा नाम है इनका, मैंने पढ़ा था, बहुत लंबा नाम है. I don't remember that name. Yeah. So his birthday is celebrated as India's National Education Day. December 10th is Human Rights Day. August 29th, National Sports Day, and it's also something more. But you write National Sports Day of India. National Sports Day of India. National Sports Day of India. Birthday of Dhyan Chand. Birthday of Dhyan Chand. Yeah. September 15th is what is that? Engineers Day. September 15th, Engineers Day. Whose birthday? Birthday of Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya. Let me write it for you. Mokshagundam, MOKSHAGUNDAM. Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya. This is something I have to write. VISVESVARAYA. Visvesvaraya. There are no double letters consecutively there. VISVESVARAYA. So Visvesvaraya. It's also you could write UN celebrates that International Day of Democracy. And you know what? The great Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya is considered one of the builders of modern India. He lived up to 102 years. He was born in 1860. He passed away in 1962. He received the Bharat Ratna in 1955. And you know what? He built Krishnaraja Sagar Dam. He also led the flood protection system of Hyderabad. Yeah, a lot of things, in fact, about him. September 15th, again to repeat, International Day of Democracy, apart from being Engineers Day. September 16th, International Day for preservation of ozone layer. International Day for preservation of ozone layer. चलिए यहाँ से थोड़ा फास्ट चलते हैं. Prashant Kumar is the managing director and CEO of Yes Bank. We know this, and we know all these banks, CEOs and all. HDFC Bank CEO is Aditya Puri. Yes, ICICI Bank Sandeep Bakshi. Kotak Mahindra is Uday Kotak, and Axis Bank is Amitabh Chaudhary. I think, yeah, Amitabh Chaudhary. Amitabh Chaudhary. Next, which nation has the highest per capita GDP in nominal terms? Luxembourg is the answer. ये रहा लक्समबर्ग, मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ, ये रहा कितना छोटा है, ये देखिए यहाँ पे 2586 किलोमीटर स्क्वायर किलोmeters, just 2586. You want to know how big is what is the GDP? You write per capita, means you divide the total GDP by the total population, you get GDP per capita. Cap means head, per head, GDP per head. You could write for all this, these are the top 5 countries in the world in terms of GDP per capita, okay, basically, you know, per capita income. Luxembourg, 113,000 $, 113,000, 113, I repeat, 113,000, $1,13,000. Next, Switzerland, 83,000. So we'll take round figures only. 83,000. Norway, 78,000. Ireland, 77. Qatar, 66. Sorry, 70. 70. Here Norway. This is Norway. Next question is on, according to the World Gold Council, which country holds the largest amount of gold reserves? United States. बहुत सोना उनके पास. They have been storing gold for over 200 years. So not new, my friends. But Russia is now been accumulating gold over the last 10 years. बहुत सोना खरीदा रशिया ने. Yeah, it's the biggest buyer of gold in the world as of today among governments. Second is China. I think you know about all these leaders and everything, so let's not spend time here. Which of the following uses euro as a currency? Malta. None of them use. Why? Norway is krone, Krone, krone. Krone. Norway is krone, Krone, krone. Denmark is krone, Krone, krone. Danish krone बोलते हैं उसको, Norwegian krone बोलते हैं. Britain, pound, Pound, pound. Switzerland, franc, FRANC, franc. It's called Swiss franc. Malta देखना चाहेंगे, कहाँ पे Malta? ये रहा Malta. This is Malta. In the previous map, this is this. ये देखिए Malta, MALTA, Malta. So I would want you to write about Malta. Just write one line. Capital, nothing more. Capital, कुछ और नहीं लिखते हैं, सिर्फ कैपिटल लिखते हैं. ठीक है. कैपिटल. Valletta, 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 Valletta. Okay, Valletta. Enough, yeah. There was this massive case here. The Prime Minister recently had to resign because he knew one person who was accused of killing his business partners, a journalist actually. He killed a journalist. So it's a very small country, very very small country. आप देखिए यहाँ पर छोटा आइलैंड है, आपको दिखाना पड़ रहा है कि ये भाई ये है माल्टा करके. It's a member of the euro. So SLR, there are 2 questions in this handout. आगे आएंगे, CRR भी आएगा. So I plan to discuss this tomorrow in the next session, friends. Kindly be patient because we discussed in the Indian economy in detail today, and I plan to discuss this in detail tomorrow. CRR वगैरह सभी in the next session, that is okay, most likely on Thursday. What is the current statutory liquidity ratio? 18%. But I can give you the latest numbers for CRR, bank rate, everything. You could write. Policy rates as of what is it? Policy rates as of June. Today is June. right, 9th, June 9th to 2020. Every day we work, so it's just, there is nothing like a holiday or anything, so it just gave, I don't even remember the date. 9th June to 2020. Okay, next, underline that. 1, CRR, cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio, what is that? Cash reserve ratio 3%, 3%, 3%, 3%. Next, statutory liquidity ratio. Statutory liquidity ratio 18%, 18%. Next, bank rate, bank rate, bank rate dash, what is it? Bank rate is 4.25%, 4.25%. Next, repo rate, REPO, repo rate 4%, 4%. Next, reverse repo rate, reverse repo rate 4.25%, 4.25%. ये मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस करूंगा ये इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन. काइंडली बी पेशेंट. CRR, SLR, रेपो सभी डिस्कस करेंगे, खासकर CRR. ओके, द इम्पैक्ट इट हैज. According to the Randstad Employer Brand Research, which is India's second most attractive employer, Amazon India. What about the choices here? BMW Group. Why don't you write just 2 lines? Or rather, head office, CEO's name. Okay. You want the full name? You could write this. BMW. Underline that. Write first point. Berische Motor and Worke. Okay. मैं repeat करता हूँ. Spell करता हूँ इसको. BAYERISCHE. Let me repeat. BAYERISCHE. Berische Motoren, MOTOREN, Motoren. Work, WERKE, work. Berische Motoren Worker. Okay, that's the full name. Second point, head office, head office, head office, Munich, 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 comma, Germany, Germany. Next, CEO is basically the CEO, chairman of the supervisory board, but right. Dr. DR Norbert, NORBERT. I repeat, NORBERT, Norbert. Reithofer, 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 REITHOFER. लास्ट पॉइंट एक और लिखिए. ओनर ऑफ मिनी, MINI, मिनी. छोटी छोटी गाड़ियाँ होती हैं, बहुत महंगी होती है, मिनी. एंड रोल्स रॉयस, ROLLS-ROYCE, रोल्स रॉयस. नेक्स्ट, डेमलर. अंडरलाइन दैट. राइट, इसके बारे में लिखिए. पॉइंट 1, हेड ऑफिस स्टटगर्ट, STUTTGART. I repeat, STUTTGART, Stuttgart, Germany. Next, CEO, Ola, O-L-A, Ola, O-L-A, Ola. Callineus, K-A-L-L-E-N-I-U-S, Callineus, Ola Callineus, Ola Callineus. One more thing you could write. Owner of Mercedes, M-E-R, I repeat, M-E-R-C-E-D-E-S, Mercedes, and Maybach, M-A-Y-B-A-C-H, M-A-Y-B-A-C-H, Maybach. You can pronounce it as Maybach or Maybach. Bharti Airtel, Chairman Sunil Mittal, Chairman Sunil Mittal, and CEO Gopal Vittal, Vittal, CEO is Gopal Vittal. Next, TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, CEO Rajesh Gopinathan, you know about Amazon anyway, so which of the following is the cash reserve ratio based deposit of banks? As I mentioned earlier, we'll discuss this, my friends. Okay, it's going to be long otherwise. The headquarters of the Northwestern Railway Zone is Jaipur. India has 18 railway zones. India has 18 railway zones. Latest is South Coast Railway. Head office Visakhapatnam. With head office at Visakhapatnam. Next, Hajipur, East Central Railway Zone. सभी रेलवे जोन के बारे में हैं चॉइसेस. हाजीपुर ईस्ट सेंट्रल रेलवे, जबलपुर वेस्ट सेंट्रल, जबलपुर वेस्ट सेंट्रल, मुंबई सेंट्रल एंड वेस्टर्न दोनों है. सेंट्रल रेलवे एंड वेस्टर्न रेलवे, दो और लिखते हैं. हाँ, साउथ वेस्टर्न, नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न तो लिख दिया. साउथ वेस्टर्न आके हुब्बाली, HUBBALLI, I'm sorry, HUBBALLI, हुब्बाली. एक और लिखते हैं साउथ ईस्ट सेंट्रल, साउथ ईस्ट सेंट्रल हैं बिलासपुर, छत्तीसगढ़ में बिलासपुर, isn't it? Yeah. The Jal Shakti Ministry has been constituted by merging all of them. And who is the Jal Shakti minister? You could write Minister for Jal Shakti dash Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. SHEKAWAT, Shekhawat. Where is the head office of the International Energy Agency? Paris. You could write this. International Energy Agency, please write this. Underline that first point. Established. Established की जरूरत नहीं है. Right, members, 30 members, enough here. 30 members. These days, I'll try to uncomplicate a lot of things. Okay. Established नहीं चाहिए. 30 members. Next. Head office Paris. Head office Paris. Paris. Head office Paris. Then you write head is actually Director General. Head HED head dash Fatih Birol. Fatih FATIH. I repeat FATIH. Fatih Birol BIROL. Fatih Birol. In brackets. Fatih Birol in brackets. Turkey. He's from Turkey. Turkey. Next point. 3 E's. 3 capital E small s, no apostrophe. It works with governments with regard to 3 E's, right? To promote 3 E's dash energy security, comma, energy security, comma, economic development, and economic development and what is it? Wait, environmental protection, ENVIRONMENTAL, environmental protection. ओके. ये जो आप देख रहे हैं ये मेंबर्स हैं. द होल ऑफ यूरोपियन यूनियन, टर्की, दिस ग्रीस, ये भी है, ये सभी देश. नॉट ऑल ऑफ यूरोपियन यूनियन. दिस इज Mexico, Canada, US, Canada. You have, this is France, so you can't really go with this. These are members, associate members, and you see this is Australia, New Zealand members, Japan is member, South Korea is member, China, India, Thailand, Indonesia, Brazil, Morocco. Yeah, they're all countries that are in talks. Associate members. They are not members, full members, associate members. Okay. So, Prayut Chan-o-cha is the Prime Minister of Thailand. What are the countries? Malaysia, Cambodia, Myanmar, Vietnam. ये देखिए यहाँ पे बर्मा के प्राइम मिनिस्टर के नाम सिर्फ प्राइम मिनिस्टर लिखते हैं. ओके, प्राइम मिनिस्टर और प्रेसिडेंट whoever it is, right? बर्मा, sorry, Myanmar dash President Win Mint, WIN space MYINT, Mint, Win Mint. Thailand तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर यही है, Prayut Chan-o-cha. He was earlier in the military. He was the head of the military. He took power in a military coup, dismissed the democratically elected government. Then Cambodia, choice है Cambodia, Hun Sen, HUN, Hun. I repeat, HUN, Hun Sen, 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 Hun Sen. Vietnam. Vietnam's president is, it's a communist country, one party है इसमें. Okay, China की जैसे. Again, China क्या, it's an enemy of China. So it's a friend of India. President of Vietnam is Nguyen Phu Trong. Nguyen. Nguyen. Nguyen Phu. Phuc or Phu. Trong. 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 In some places you may find Truong. कुछ जगहों पे यू भी होगा, डोंट वरी. ओके, ये जो फर्स्ट वर्ड लिखा है हमने Nguyen, हम क्या कहते हैं? गुयन बोलते हैं. एक्चुअली वो क्या प्रोनाउंस करते हैं? विन. WIN. विन. I was watching a documentary of Vietnam, so Malaysia, ये रहा Malaysia, green में. Malaysia's Prime Minister new guy is Muhyiddin Yassin. MUHYUDDIN. Muhyiddin Yassin. 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 Muhyiddin Yassin. India ranked 95th out of 129 countries in the Global Gender Equality Index. Denmark was a topper in this index. Denmark. But मैं आपको एक और इंडेक्स देता हूँ. You please write 2020 Global Gender Gap Index. Global Gender Gap Index. Global Gender Gap Index. Underline that. 1. Iceland. 2. Norway. टॉप 3 लिखते सिर्फ. 3. Finland. We have taken enough notes on all of this. Country, capital. See, Sweden's Prime Minister is Stefan Löfven. Norway is Erna Solberg. Spain is Pedro Sanchez. Finland is the beautiful Sanna Marin. We are not going to repeat. आपके पास है ऑलरेडी नोट्स, सो ये रिपीट करने की जरूरत नहीं बार बार. The Central Board of Direct Taxes inaugurated AEOI for exchange of information on income tax, and this one stands for Automatic Exchange of Information. Simple, na? Ha. With which of the following has Reliance Jio partnered for its digital literacy initiative, Digital Udaan? Facebook. And we have already taken a lot of notes on each of this, but सिर्फ CEOs के नाम रिपीट करते हैं. Facebook डैश Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg. MARK. Mark Zuckerberg. 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 Mark Zuckerberg. Google. Sundar Pichai. PICHAI. Sundar Pichai. Microsoft. Satya Nadella. NADELLA. Satya Nadella. Satya Nadella. Then Apple. Tim Cook. TIM Cook. COOK. Tim Cook. TCS अभी लिखा था राजेश गोपीनाथन. Sanjeev Mehta was chosen as the ET Businessman of the Year award, for last year, of course, and he's the CEO of Hindustan Unilever Limited, HUL. आप हैं मेहता, संजीव मेहता, और जो ITC के CEO चेयरमैन वो संजीव पुरी है. संजीव पुरी फॉर ITC. Next, Dabur. CEO is Mohit Malhotra. CEO Mohit Malhotra. Mohit Malhotra. So the word Dabur comes from two separate words. What are those words? Da for doctor, Doctor Saab. So Da, doctor, Bar for Burman. Dr. Burman started this company. So Mohit Malhotra is the CEO of this company. D-Mart. D stands for Damani. D-A-M-A-N-I. D-A-M-A-N-I. Damani. Damani Mart. Mart is market. It was started by Radha Krishna Damani. He is the CEO. Radha Krishna Damani. Radha Krishna Damani. Radha Krishna Damani. Or this is a pun on Walmart. Wall, W-A-L-M-A-R-T, Walmart. Wall comes from the surname of the guy, Walton. Sam Walton. Sam founded Walmart. Radhakrishna Damani started D-Mart. Bandhan Bank, Chandrasekhar Ghosh. Chandrasekhar Ghosh. Chandrasekhar Ghosh. So Dove wali company, Hindustan Unilever Limited. Quality was Dove, Lipton. Yeah. Which city is served by the Veer Savarkar Airport? आप है Veer Savarkar. Vinayak Damodar Das. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Guwahati, Port Blair. Oh, it's Port Blair is, I think I mentioned this in the past also. Port Blair, this is where he was jailed, cellular jail. It was called cellular jail because all the cells, जो छोटे छोटे jails होते थे वो cells के जैसे होते थे. यहाँ पे एक छोटे छोटे. Yeah. So Port Blair Airport is named after Veer Savarkar. Is named Veer Savarkar International Airport. Guwahati is Lokapriya Gopinath Bordoloi. Lokapriya, L-O-K-A-P-R-I-Y-A. Lokapriya. Gopinath, G-O-P-I-N-A-T-H. Gopinath Bordoloi. B-O-R-D-O-L-O-I. Bordoloi. Gopinath Bordoloi. Okay, Gopinath Bordoloi. And I'm sorry, Gopinath Bordoloi. Yeah, this is the last one. I didn't know that. Okay. He was a freedom fighter, Gopinath Bordoloi. So he had his title Lokpriya, beloved of the world. He was world famous, of course. I mean, famous in that part of the world. Beloved of the people. Patna, Jayaprakash Narayan Airport. Jayaprakash Narayan Airport. Jayaprakash Narayan Airport. Then we have Srinagar. Sheikh Al Alam Airport. You could write Sheikh S-H-E-I-K-H. Sheikh space Al or Ul U-L hyphen Alam A-L-A-M Sheikh Al Alam Airport is named after the great Sufi saint of Kashmir, okay, who was variously known as Nand Rishi. In fact, he was also called Nand Rishi. So then Ranchi, Birsa Munda Airport. Birsa Munda Airport. Today is 9th June. Today is the death anniversary of Birsa Munda. 9th June. See, he was born in 1875. He was just 24 years old when he died. He was born sometime in June 1875. I don't exactly remember the month, but 1875 is the year. And he passed away today, that is on this day, 9th June, in 1900. 120 साल पहले बिरसा मुंडा जी की मौत हुई थी. He was a freedom fighter. He was caught by the British and he died in the jail. He died in jail. Great freedom fighters this country has produced, my friends. So Birsa Munda, he belonged to the, of course, the tribe Munda. That's how it is. Sorry, that's how all it is. Yeah, I think it's been a pretty long session from what I know. Yeah. So thanks for being here, and I promise you that I will discuss CRR, SLR, and other banking terms sometime on Thursday. Thanks for being here. Have a lot of fun and stay safe and stay curious.